Hello everybody. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. Today's video is going to be my plan with me for the week of April the 24th through the 30th. So this video is definitely different. I haven't done one of these in a while where I plan and then do the voiceover. So a couple reasons for this is, as you saw at the beginning of this video, when I kind of like shook this random booklet, it was my week in the life booklet. And that I actually kept off to the side. So during Week in the Life, I literally track hour by hour what's kind of happening. And then there's other spots for me in the journal to kind of play with at the end of the day, like gratitudes, thoughts on the day, things I want to remember. There's a currently list. So there's a whole lot going on with that project, but it makes it really, I'm not going to say easy because it was still kind of a pain in the ass, but it made it a little bit easier for me to retroactively kind of memory keep / plan. Another very weird thing about this particular week is the fact that I really just relied heavily on my red tail, which is my work to-do list, versus a physical to-do list. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that my hours were really bizarre. It was a short week, and Jeff and I were going to be out of town most of the weekend. And then I knew Sunday when we were like even though we came back on Saturday night, I knew I was going to be completely exhausted and just wanted to recharge before going back in on Monday. So all kinds of craziness happened. So what you see me doing right now, well, first things first, I did do a water tracker at the very bottom of the spread. Well, the bottom of the hourlies. Anyway, that's where I stick my water tracker because typically I am not up at midnight. But I used a mild liner to do that, and I actually used the same mild liner that I did the week before. I don't normally do that anymore. I kind of enjoy being able to switch out the colors and things, but it did really flow well with the color palette of the Van Gogh bean card, which is what I wanted to use. And once again, I have proved my point that I am absolute shit at working with any kind of a kit. I literally used one sticker. One, and that was the to-do. Actually, that's a lie. I used two. I used the to-do, which I just did on screen, my migrated over to-do list. If you look really close, you're going to see where I've already like slashed, X'd, or migrated over any and all tasks because this week is done. It was done when I started the spread and finished this spread. So there didn't seem to be much of a need to do that. The other sticker that I do use is going to come out around Tuesday or Wednesday, so keep an eye peeled for that. It's just kind of like a cute little scenery for when I was watching At Eternity's Gate, which is the Van Gogh themed movie that William Dafoe is in. There's also a lot of other big names in that movie, but I did quite enjoy it. It's really bizarre, but I mean, that's kind of Van Gogh in of itself. I was really bummed that I did not get to watch more because there are quite a few films on Van Gogh. And I was really bummed overall at not really focusing on watching, reading, researching more into the artist as I did their themed weeks throughout the month of April. So if I could go back and do anything differently, I wish I had just kind of been a little bit more diligent about that. As far as the washi tape across the top goes, it is just an old one from my stash. I'm not even 100% certain that I know where it's from. I really feel strongly that it's an older Heidi swap. I'm pretty sure it's an older Heidi swap washi. So I'm going to go with that because that's my strongest instinct. The fun thing about this particular video is the fact that everything is going to be filled in as I go. Like there's nothing to come back to. So that's really cool. So let's go ahead and just start talking about the week in of itself and go through each day kind of as we plan it. I'm sure we'll have some tangents and some randomness. So hopefully I won't forget anything, but if I do, let me know, drop me a note in the comments. So as far as what I'm watching or listening to, I've been using my Tombos to kind of mark that in. So anytime you see kind of like a color swatch, it's usually to document a podcast that I'm listening to or a show or movie that I'm watching. So Girls Next Level, which is the podcast about Girls Next Door, has been my kind of getaway random obsession. It's kind of the perk of having reality TV, but also having some discussion on it. And I've listened to podcasts about like House of Dragons and a couple other shows. So it was really cool to kind of do something that was a little bit more mindless. No shade whatsoever. I completely loved it as a young adult. And it's been really fun to listen to it from an older lens, now being older. And they're older, so it's been really enjoyable. So don't knock it till you try it. But after that, I worked on getting kind of, love my cat, but cat messes can sometimes be a little chaotic. So I worked on cleaning that up and then gave her some love and apologized because I was going to have to go right back out the door, pretty much, and go to work mode and all of that. But I went out to get some breakfast and then I was in work mode the rest of the remote Monday that I had. What was really kind of fun was that as soon as closing time happened, I decided to embark on the longest strand of errands to run at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So the first thing I did was take my ass to dinner because I was one-track minded. And for whatever reason, there are a lot of restaurants that are reopening now on Mondays, but for the longest time, everywhere kind of shuts down on a Monday. So you're kind of shut out of luck if you want takeout. But one of my favorite restaurants is actually open on a Monday, and I was craving them in particular. So I headed over there and then backtracked and ran a bunch of errands. I went to Victoria's Secret to return a bunch of things that just didn't work out from the Moulin Rouge show ideas that I had. Went over to Plato's, which was super funny because by the time I went to Plato's, I was only about $5 in the hole for my dinner because I actually recouped a good bit of it back, which was unexpected and I think had more to do with just some of the items that I had in there, one of which was like a more expensive bag that had some damage to it and my OCD would just not let me deal with it. And so I sent it on to a better home where it will not hide in a bucket. And then I did do some poking around at Joann's and then dropped off a bunch of stuff at Goodwill and went into Target just for a bit. So it was a ton of errands. I did not make it home. Oh, I didn't even put on the list that I went to Publix that night too. So fun fact, did not actually fill in all the way, but I did definitely go to Publix after a huge mental debacle. Normally I'm a Kroger gal. I know we're all here for my like riveting grocery chats, but I've just had some very unsavory experiences recently in the Kroger that I normally shop in, like getting hit on and people asking me for money. Aggressively, might I add, like aggressively asked for money. Yeah, like I got asked and I apologized profusely because I did not have cash on me at the time. And he very curtly responded, "Oh, well, they give cash back." And I just thought that was very bold of him. Wow. So I am 9 times out of 10 alone in these situations. And I am not, I'm about 120 pounds and about 4'11". So I really don't like to put myself in unsafe predicaments. And so I'm just not going to be visiting that Kroger during those hours anymore for my own safety. So moving on to Tuesday, more Girls Next Door, and then a couple to-dos before I headed out to work. I was only in office on Tuesday and Thursday of this particular week, so I really tried to make the most of it. Unfortunately, with my job title, even though I have been doing a lot of service since I finished my Series 65 and we are still down a person, I do occasionally get called up to do very assistant-y things that I don't always enjoy doing. And this happened to be one of those days, and I really didn't have the time for it, which made it really kind of irritating. But I needed to go try to find a key fob battery. And after 2 different locations, I struck out and had to pick up office lunch for everybody as well, it was just April and I, so it really wasn't a bunch of people or anything. And it was a rather heathenous lunch, if I'm being fully transparent. But But by the time I got home, I enjoyed a dinner that was a mini molten lava cake while I watched the At Eternity's Gate movie and kind of wrapped up the week in the life prompts and to-dos, because it is quite a bit of journaling and I still have quite a bit to catch up on, but the base level's kind of there and I feel like I can pull from that really easy. I'm really good at being able to put myself back in a mindset of a certain place, whether I like it or not is irrelevant, but I'm pretty good about being able to go kind of back in time and think about how I felt in that moment. So I definitely want to make sure to work on that journaling a good bit this coming up week and just kind of wrapping everything in a bow and hopefully being able to get to the documenting part soon. Wednesday, like I said, I was remote, so I really just tried to take it a little easy. Plan the day. I started fussy cutting some of my Coffee Monster Co. digitals that I had printed out ages ago, back from, I think it was like the Black Friday digitals, like literally printed out the sheets months ago and just haven't gotten around to cutting them. You'll see me try to use one of the really super cute checklists, but it just didn't work because I write really large sometimes. So it just did not work out for me. You'll see me pause, and I did try to speed this video up, but a lot of the times that you see me pausing, I'm looking over at my journal and just trying to see what I actually want to document, because typically I document in chunks, or I put my to-do list in chunks. So there's normally like a home list, a work list, and then kind of a craft list. So those are usually like the things I bracket my list into. I'm going through a bit of a planner crisis and I really want to go back to the hour by hour, but I really struggle with that when I'm filming the plan with me's and going back and forth, because I kind of need to have that list down and I kind of can't do it on an hour by hour basis. So I'm trying to think of some workaround ideas to be able to have kind of a couple weeks in the hour by hour sense, or maybe trying to film like some remote days. So bear with me if we have some different kind of videos. I feel like it's perfectly normal to go through the crises that we go through with our planners, because we are human beings and we are going to change. Whether we like to admit it or not, our schedules do change, our preferences do change quite frequently. I know a lot of people are already looking into 2024 planners like me. I know a bunch of people that are ordering new planners even now for 2023 because they're just kind of in a little funk. And I'm one of those people. I'm trying out 5,000 different things and trying to use old journals to test drive like kind of some layouts that I've seen in other planners to see if I need something supplemental or kind of what I need. So all that to say, I am going to try filming a couple different styles so that I can play with my hour by hour again as well. So that'll be some fun content for everybody. So Wednesday ended up being pretty easy. I did get to do a run and an ab workout. I really had not worked out a lot of April after my knee bothered me. When was that? That was that was a little while ago, but I basically was trying to run 11 miles. I got to 6 and my knee started hurting, and I stopped at 7 because I didn't want to blow out my knee, and I'd been really apprehensive to kind of get back in the game. So I just kind of wanted to stretch my legs a little bit, knowing we were probably going to be doing a lot of walking on Saturday, in particular at Rock City. It went well. My abs hurt more than anything because I definitely under-work out my abs. I need to work out my abs. I eat too many burgers and too much pizza to not work out my abs. Let's all be real. And then I had a very painful team meeting that, it was painful. It was painful. And it lasted way longer than it needed to. And then I just kind of started to pack for the trip and tidy up the apartment. And I started watching Shadow and Bone. Last week when I was doing this spread, I was still rewatching season 1. I have moved on to season 2, and I've got kind of like an odd rotation going right now of things that I'm watching, because there's things I'm quote unquote watching, which is really things I'm listening to, like Practical Magic and the live action Aladdin while I'm filming. And then there's things I'm actively watching. It could be Shadow and Bone, or it could be Star Wars stuff, because yes, it is May And I'm so excited to be Star Wars obsessed for the entire month. And I have challenged myself to see how much of it I can watch in chronological order, including shows. So that's not something I always include. And I definitely have never included like the animated shows. So I am adding those into the mix and have just, as at least at the point of filming, I've started watching Attack of the Clones and Clone Wars. So stay tuned for progress on that. Even though I'm a huge Star Wars fan, I'm just always kind of with the cartoon versions of things. It's just not always my jam. So anyways, moving on to Thursday. Like I said, I was in office on Tuesday and Thursday, so I really kind of had to buckle down and make sure I left everything in a good place so that I could go on a really nice trip over the weekend, which we'll get to. So I did stop at Kroger and get everything that we needed for the trip, for the office, and get some gas, like fill up, because my office is not that far from my house. So I knew I wasn't going to bust out too much and I needed to kind of scurry home and get things in order before Jeff got there. As far as work goes, tons got done. As you can see, that list is pretty full. And then you're going to see this really angry emoji face. Super angry. Oh, another shout out that I was really excited. I got to use my nerdy laptop stickers because the order came that week and I got to do like the whole, obviously you guys have seen the haul at this point, but I did get to do my haul and I do have like neutral like working stickers now and I'm really excited about that and it fit into the spread super nice. But let's talk about this angry emoji sticker really fast. And Binks is going to come in to comfort me. So if you hear her mew, that's what's happening. However, Jeffrey was very, very into the idea of getting a like modern, like apparently like low-key mullet. I don't even freaking know. And I have been very hell no on this idea from the jump. No matter how many pictures she showed me, no matter how many things, I was just nope, not into it. And just to be clear, I'm a super supportive partner and that man has grown his hair out, cut it short. He has gone through more hair changes than I have in 5 years. He's never colored it, but I have never been this consistent with my hair either. I've literally been like ombre for the entire 5 years. The only thing that I did that was quote unquote drastic was I did chop it all off because it had just gotten too long. This is not about my hair. This is about Jeffrey's hair. Anyways, I had said no about 5,001 times. This apparently did not sink in. And just to give you some insight, this discussion has been going on for months. Like since somewhere in 2022 when he unearthed this god-awful idea. So he told me that whenever I let him in the apartment gate that I needed to go in the bathroom because he had a surprise for me. I'm over here thinking it's like a dessert because I am a foodie. I know this man has not brought me flowers because A, it's a random day to bring me flowers and we're going out of town. So that makes no sense. But I don't know. I think it's a crumble cookie. I'm super freaking excited. And then lo and damn behold, this man has gone and got himself a mullet and he filmed my reaction. Okay. Breach of trust on 9,000 levels. Asked me 5,000 times. I say no. And then you film me without my consent in my pajamas to share with your friends. I was fucking livid, guys. I was livid. Like I was speechless and I was livid. So mad. I was more mad about the disrespect than I was about the hair, if I'm being perfectly honest. And honestly, his hair is kind of settled and he's been able to kind of hide it. He is fully aware that I am pissed off about it, but it literally did not affect the rest of the weekend. I carried Howlite with me specifically so that I didn't lose my shit for the rest of the weekend. And I was very like, go with the flow, just chill, like don't let it scrub the whole weekend. And I think that irritated me as well, like having no time to process whatsoever, no space to be like, what the fuck, dude, and let's go out and be together for the entire weekend. So it was a lot. It was just a lot. And then therefore we slept like shit. which was really bad because we had a very busy Friday planned. So we packed up and headed out pretty early, and we headed to go get breakfast, and we tried out this place called the Red-Eyed Mule, and it is so good. If you were ever in Kennesaw, Georgia, check it out. They've been on Food Network. Do not sleep on that one. Super fucking good breakfast. And like brunch vibe too. It doesn't look fancy, but it is delicious. 10 out of 10. And then we headed straight for the train. So I am super excited because I got to use my train sticker. I love my train stickers. I'm not gonna lie. I love those train stickers. I used mine from the freebie pack, but I will probably end up ordering a full sheet of them. But also probably another set of that year because it also has some of my other favorite stickers, which are like the Bon Appetit and the cute like witch in the bubble bath. So I'll probably just rebuy that pack. It's not I love having all the samplers, and I know I've talked about that before, that I'm just a huge fan of them because it prevents you from having to buy necessarily a whole sheet, and you get a whole slew of things to try and play with that you maybe don't use as regularly or have a need for all the time, but it's just fun to kind of have that sticker on hand, that 1 in a million shot that you need it. The train was so much fun. I actually snuck wine onto the train. Fun fact for you guys here. Take a Palm Wonderful juice, drink the juice, then clean it out, refill it with red wine. Mind blown. Jeff was so impressed. My coworker was impressed. My mother was impressed. They were like, oh my God, how did we never think of that? That's genius. Because you're not supposed to have alcoholic beverages on the train. But I had packed us like a super cute charcuterie board snack tack thing going on. So it was very perfect. From there, we went to a restaurant called Martha Ann's. And it's like right outside of Athens, Tennessee. And there's really not a ton there. Sorry if you live there. There's just not a ton there. I am a foodie. I'm a little bit bougie when I'm out of town. This video is making me sound like an asshole. And I'm so sorry because I hope that if you guys have stuck around long enough and been on my channel, you know I'm not that person. But I want really good food when I go out of town. I really, really do. And I was disappointed. I was more disappointed with the descriptions that led me to believe it was going to be one thing and it was another. So that was slightly problematic. I was also very chickened out at that point, and it was a chicken place. And I had fried chicken for breakfast. So I really opted for the grilled chicken because I did not want to be overly unhealthy, but it was not worth it. Should have just done the fried chicken. And then we headed to our Airbnb and we crashed out, like completely crashed out. So the next day, and I'm going to kind of hurry up, so I might talk a little bit in reverse. So Sunday was, let me hit Sunday really fast. Sunday was really boring. I did a whole lot of nothing. I had plans to clean and do all the things. And then I tapped out pretty early in the day and said I was just going to head to Jeff's and hang out. And that's what we did. Jeff grilled some lamb and we made some butternut squash and broccolini and had a super healthy dinner, only to be followed by some very heathenish Little Debbie snacks that we had gotten from the complimentary snack trays on the train and been hoarding for the rest of the weekend. So that was Saturday, and we watched The Family, which was an okay movie. We were hoping for something more like The Outfit, which is how it got recommended to us. If you haven't seen The Outfit on Amazon, watch it. So good. The Family was okay. It was okay. It just didn't hit the same. So let's go backwards now. We're going to talk about Saturday. So Saturday, oh my gosh, mind-blowing Airbnb. And I am going to have to talk fast because the video is almost over. The Airbnb host made us breakfast, homemade from scratch with fresh chicken eggs, pastries from scratch. I have never in my life stayed in an Airbnb where they made me breakfast, let alone to that level. She freaking loves being a host. She loves what she does. She's retired. Their property is beautiful. If you were ever looking for an Airbnb in Tennessee, check out the barn. They have 2 basset hounds. There's chickens. It's freaking gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. From there, we went over to Rock City Gardens, and that took a couple hours. And while at Rock City was the Coffee Monster Co. overstock sale. So literally with a drink in hand and a fried green tomato in the other, I am halting all activities so that I can place an overstock sale. I got the 3 rolls of washi I wanted, and I am so proud of everybody. Oh, the video is going to cut off. But I'm so proud of everybody for just being super respectful and leaving plenty of washi for the other folks and the newbies. And I think that that was just such a nice change of pace and something you don't see in a lot of small business interactions. I thought it was really cool that everybody kind of scaled back and made sure that the newbies got a really good shot at some stuff. So now it's all eyes forward and looking forward to the pre-orders, which from the teasers that we're seeing are going to be freaking awesome. And then one last thing about Saturday was the fact that I got to check out 441 South, the actual restaurant, and I haven't been able to check them out since I tried them as a food truck years ago. And we just happened to be able to come home by route of Canton to check them out. And Jeff was not disappointed until we figured out that there were no desserts left because it was pretty late on a Saturday. So we were lucky we got what we got. But thank you guys for hanging out. I will attach some extra bonus footagey type things so that you're not just watching a black screen and listening to me talk. But I hope you guys all had a wonderful week, and I look forward to more plan with me's of different styles and normal styles coming up. And I hope you guys have a wonderful and happy May the 4th and a Revenge of the 6th, and enjoy nerding out with me in this lovely Star Wars filled month. Thanks everybody. Bye.